I want to apologize in advance for anybody's name that I might mispronounce. My Spanish is atrocious. I got a D in it in high school, but we'll still get through it anyway. What is going on, everybody? I go by the name of Curry, and I want to thank you guys for joining me here today on SneakerPhetish. I got a really special shoe today. I'm really excited to show it to you guys because it has an amazing story around it, and it has a little bit to do with the place where I come from. I don't want to say too much without showing it to you guys first, so without further ado, let's get straight into the shoe. Nike has finally given the Dominican Republic the respect and the shout out that they deserve with a new sneaker that was designed by an amazing designer named Caesar, or Cesar, I'm not sure. It might be Cesar, it might be Caesar, I'm not sure, but his last name is Perez. In celebration of the culture that celebrates Dominicans that integrated from the Dominican Republic to the city of New York and inhabited the smaller cities, especially in uptown New York and in Manhattan. What better way to show respect to that amazing culture than to give them a shoe that is only for them, that is for them, that is dedicated to them, and that celebrates their history, their unity, and their culture. And that We'll talk about that later. That celebration starts with the box of the shoe. So if you notice, starting on the box of this shoe here, this looks like the flag of the Dominican Republic with the crest of the Dominican Republic right there in the middle. Now, the front of the box is the phrase de la gente, para la gente, which loosely translated means of the people, for the people, for the people, of the people. It's basically having to do with something that's for the people and created by the same people that the product is for. I even want to talk about the paper on the inside of the box because everything with this was so carefully thought out and designed by Caesar Perez during the process with Nike that there really shouldn't be any detail that goes overlooked here. The community gathering in front of bodegas and chimney trucks, the frios, people playing dominoes because it's more than a game for us. It's a rite of passage, an integral part of the culture that transcends age and class, a way of life. We'll talk about those dominoes in a minute. We came here wanting to be the one. We wanted to represent. We wanted to stand out. We worked hard to create opportunities so more of our people could get their turn to fulfill their dreams. Like I said, just the story that gets told with this, the plantanos, and so many other things that you can see here, all having to do with celebrating the Dominican Republic. Now, the first thing that I see inside of the box is this card that you get here, and it talks about from Washington Heights to the Grand Concourse. Again, it talks about celebrating the culture of the Dominican Republic, of the people that came to New York looking for opportunity, not only for themselves, but for their families as well. It's a beautiful message. And on the back of the card, of course, you get the same message in Spanish as well. Boom. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Nike Air Force 107 De Lo Mio. The upper of the shoe is not deconstructed in any kind of a way. It's a nice grain leather that's all white on the top of the shoe with this nice gummed midsole and outsole as well. Now, naturally, the first thing that you're going to notice here is the swoosh. Now, this swoosh is a hologram that fades from blue to red. Some people are saying that this is to represent the transition from the Dominican Republic to New York. Other people are saying that the different colors changing from red to blue represent the colors of the Dominican flag. Whatever the actual explanation is dope. That's what I can say about it. Now, on the left shoe, you get that big red Nike swoosh on the outsole, which of course is why the entire midsole and outsole is that translucent clear color. On the insole of the shoe, you get a nice blue insole on the left shoe that has Nike Air on it. And on the insole of the right shoe, you're gonna get that nice red insole that also has that Nike Air on it. Imprinted underneath the outsole on the right shoe, though, you're gonna get that message De Lo Mio. And of course, you're gonna keep seeing that message De Lo Mio, De Lo Mio, De Lo Mio, because Caesar wanted to make sure that everybody understood that this was a passion project for the Dominican Republic, for Dominicans, especially for Dominicans in New York City. On the tongue of the left shoe, you get this nice leatherette tag that says Nike Air with Dominica underneath it. On the heel of the left shoe, it's gonna say Republica on the back. Republica. I don't know, I can't say it, but you know what it's trying to say. And on the right shoe in red, of course, to offset that blue for the Dominican flag, you're gonna get the word Republica underneath that Nike Air. And on the right shoe, it's gonna say Dominica on the heel tab. So both shoes actually say Dominica Republica, but just in different places. Get it? 3 pairs of extra laces for this shoe, which is insane because Nike be cheap when it comes to extra laces. They went all out for the packaging and the delivery and the marketing for this project. So it's really impressive that they give us 3 extra pairs of laces. You get a red pair, you get a blue pair, you get a white, I guess it's a white, is this kind of silver? It looks kind of silver, So I want to say this is more of a silver than a white. I'm not really sure. But on the silverish, whitish pair of laces, you actually get blue and red lace tips, which I think is really dope. Or you might just choose to keep the laces that are in there. They're a really nice woven blue and red lace together with a white lace tip. It's really, really nice as it is, honestly. So to promote this shoe, not only did they get a true Dominican to design the shoe, but they also hired 6 Dominicans that are from the New York area to actually do mini photo essays where they actually photograph their own family members, friends of theirs, people that they knew growing up with these sneakers on to tell their story about how they came from the Dominican Republic and adjusted to a new life in New York. Those photographers are Adeline Lupo, Alberto Vargas, Cheryl Sanchez, Elvin Tavares, Juan Veloz, and Ralphie Ramos. Shout out to all of those different photographers being able to tell their story their way using the De Lo Mio as well. Now, Honor was probably my favorite part of this shoe as a whole. Now, remember earlier I was showing you guys the paper and it talked about how Dominoes are a huge way of life for Dominicans. It's kind of like a rite of passage. Well, Nike and Caesar during the design process decided to go ahead and incorporate those dominoes as well and make some amazing lace locks or lace stays, whatever you want to call them, on the shoe as well. I had to give you guys the double sixes because that's kind of my favorite domino right there. So you get these really nice domino inspired lace locks here. They're made of every combination for dominoes, if you guys are familiar with the game, with that nice Nike swoosh right in the middle of the numbers. Now, I'm a huge dominoes player. I love throwing bones, as we like to call it. I don't know if you guys are dominoes players as well, but come and see me if you think that you can beat me in some dominoes, because I'll guarantee you, I'm gonna give you that work. To me, these are literally one of the best sneaker releases of 2018 because of the passion that you can feel that went into this shoe. And to me, that's what sneakers are all about, telling a story. I always tell you guys that sneakers are a blank canvas, sneakers are art, so they tell a story. And if you truly consider yourself a sneakerhead, then you have a sneaker story, you have a favorite sneaker and a story that's associated with that. You have a story that's associated probably with every sneaker that's in your collection that goes beyond what it was going for on StockX. So kudos once again to Caesar Perez for the execution of this amazing sneaker and for telling his story his way, and shout out to Nike for allowing these types of creative outlets for people to be able to tell these stories. With all that being said, it's time for you guys to sound off. Now let me know what you guys think of the Air Force One De Lo Mio. Is this one that you wanted to add to your collection? It sold out pretty quickly, so I'm pretty sure that there's a strong following not only of the Dominican culture, but of supporters like myself as well. And I used to live in New York by way of New Jersey, so I'm very familiar with Little Dominican Republic and with having Dominican friends and people like that, and making sure that their stories were heard and that they weren't just in some tucked away part of the city was always very important to them. Family, tradition, and the stories that they tell, their culture was always very, very important to them. So to me, this is really dope. Let me know what you guys think. If you happen to be a Dominican, how do you feel about this sneaker being released to tell the story of your culture? If you are not Dominican, how do you feel about Nike telling these stories of different cultures? Not only that, what other cultures do you think that Nike should highlight and possibly make a shoe or a colorway out of? Sound off down below in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts about that. Again, if you're not subscribed, I don't know why you're not yet. It's totally free and it takes about 2 seconds. Go ahead and click that subscribe button right down there, right above the comments. We would love to have you here in the Sneaker Fetish family. It's always a good time, and I want to make sure that you guys don't miss out on any more heat, because I guarantee you I got a lot more heat on the way. As always, I want to thank you guys for joining me here today on Sneaker Fetish, taking a look at these with me, these really nice sneakers today for a couple of minutes, unboxing them with me. I go by the name of Kari. This is the Air Force 107 De Lo Mio, representative of the Dominican Republic culture. And until next time, I'm out.